I was in education for 41 years, primarily middle school. So I taught for about 20 years, and then I became an administrator in the middle school, and eventually a superintendent my last 2 years that I was in education. But it was when I was an administrator, that's when I had my first experience with, I had 3 students actually, not at the same time, but 3 students die.
I actually experienced a death myself. I was 20 years old when my boyfriend was killed in a car crash. My mom was looking for support services for me. She was actually at a bookstore and she was looking at grief books. And someone else who was also looking at grief books had said, like, well, why don't you check out Starlight Ministries?
When I had a third experience with a student who died, that is when someone said, you know, you should reach out to Starlight. We're getting a lot more participants in, and in those conversations we are hearing that, oh, I wish my child's school had done a better job supporting them.
Kids are going back to school after a significant death and they're not feeling supported. The specific student had said, like, they didn't let me leave. They didn't let me turn in my work late.
No one is really educated about grief. Teachers are not educated about grief. Administrators, you know, we have this huge crisis manual that we have all of these plans in, and there was nothing in there for these situations.
It is not common for educators, school personnel to be educated on grief.
You need to have education to help you. You need to have other people to help you.
The goal of the school liaison is to increase the knowledge and awareness of Starlight Ministries and the necessity for grief support and education. We can provide specific grief education of here's what it looks like if a student is experiencing grief, here's how it impacts their learning, here are some easy, simple things you can do to support them.
If we have a school liaison, you could call them, say, we just had a student die. Would you please come in and would you talk to the group of teachers, help them understand what do they do when they talk to their students and go back to the classroom, all of those things.
What makes me excited about the school liaison role is that's that first step, is implementing more of a grief-sensitive, grief-aware staff.
They will feel like they have the tools to help.
It's unique to each situation, and we cater it to that uniqueness. We can have an overall plan for if something happens, but it's going to be different based on each situation, each death, each person, each school. So what's unique about Starlight is in the school liaison is that we are able to cater it and make it unique to that situation.
We can educate people on this is what to expect. It helps them understand, and if you understand, it's not as frightening.
Educators are going to feel more prepared. What we really want our school educators, our personnel in the area is to know that, like, you don't have to do this alone.